Magic Springs in Hot Springs, Arkansas is one of the most remote amusement parks in the United States. The next closest major park is Silver Dollar City, and that's roughly 4 to 4.5 hours away. So not too many enthusiasts make it out to Magic Springs. In this review, I will cover if this park is worth visiting. As I mentioned, Magic Springs is located in Hot Springs, which is a resort city located in the Ouachita Mountains. As the name suggests, the town is famous for the natural hot springs, and the town sort of feels like a bizarro Gatlinburg. You have the beautiful scenery around you, you have the mountains and the dense forest, you have the restaurants and tourist traps, and then you have the theme park, except instead of Dollywood, you have Magic Springs. And Magic Springs uses the area's natural beauty to its advantage. Magic Springs is among the most shaded parks I've ever visited. Pretty much every midway is underneath a tree canopy, and many rides go out into the woods. But beyond that, you have a beautiful pond in the middle of the dry side, and several fountains around the park. This creates a really relaxed atmosphere, especially since you have the mountain backdrop in the distance. Despite the park's favorable location in a resort town, Magic Springs has had a tumultuous history. The park originally opened in 1978, but the original owners were saddled with debt and sold the park to another group in the 1980s. But the new group also ran into financial troubles that saw the park close in 1995. The park sat idle for 5 years until Parks LLC reopened the park in the year 2000, and that company was headed by none other than Ed Hart of Kentucky Kingdom. So when Ed Hart saved Kentucky Kingdom almost a decade ago, he may have looked back on his experience saving Magic Springs. But back to Magic Springs. Parks LLC sold the park to C&L Income Properties in the mid-2000s. And then from 2008 to 2010, Park Management took over the management of Magic Springs. Then from 2011 to 2016, Amusement Management Partners LLC managed the park for C&L. Then in 2016, C&L sold Magic Springs to EPR, who then cut a deal with Premier Parks LLC to manage the park. I know that's a mouthful, but the biggest takeaway with Magic Springs is that it has always been changing hands. This results in the park not really having an overarching vision. For example, in 2012, the park announced that it was going to remove both Twist and Shout and X-Coaster in favor of a water park expansion. The park explained that guests wanted additional water slides over dry rides. Twist and Shout was relocated to Family Kingdom, and rumor has it, X-Coaster was also sold. And it's an extremely rare thing to see a park trying to unload the newest coasters. But after making the sale of X-Coaster, the owners discovered that X-Coaster had been welded together when it was originally built, which made it extremely difficult and uneconomical to relocate. This resulted in X-Coaster staying and the water park edition going elsewhere. And it's probably a good thing too, because X-Coaster isn't even adjacent to the water park. Guests would have had to walk through the dry park to get to it. This would have been analogous to where Holiday World placed Hyena Falls relative to the rest of Splash and Safari. So as you may have gathered, Magic Springs has a bit of an odd layout. In general, the dry rides are off to the right down a hill, and the water park is off to the left atop the hill. But there are some exceptions. Splash Island, the kids' water play area, is outside the main water park located behind the swinging ship. But more notably, Arkansas Twister is located way off in no man's land. Arkansas Twister is located in the back corner of the park next to the amphitheater. The only way to get to Arkansas Twister is to walk through the entire water park. However, this location is at least justified if you're familiar with the ride's history. Arkansas Twister originally opened in 1978 as the Florida Hurricane at the now-defunct Boardwalk and Baseball. When that park closed in 1990, Magic Springs purchased Florida Hurricane for just $10,000. But despite what the name would suggest, Arkansas Twister actually has a long out and back layout, not a Twister layout. And the only plot of land that could accommodate this coaster was in the back left corner. And this remote location is why Arkansas Twister tends to open an hour after the rest of the park. Just keep that in mind if you're planning a credit run of Magic Springs. Now let's move on to the operations. To be honest, they're not that good. All the coasters run just one train, and the dispatches tend to be on the slower side. I'm unsure if it was just COVID related, but the park would not assign rows until after the prior train emptied, which was really inefficient. Fortunately, the crowds never really materialized on the dry side the day I visited, so nothing was more than a 1 to 2 train wait at worst. However, the water park looks significantly busier. From what I've gathered, Crystal Falls seems to be the park's main draw, and that explains why most of the recent investments have gone to the water park. Another downside with Magic Springs is that it's a bit pricey despite their ride lineup. Admission to Magic Springs costs $50 on top of the cost to park, but I think the price point is a function of the park being located in a tourist area. One thing I do have to applaud Magic Springs for is their weather policy. I visited on a day with a 100% chance of a massive thunderstorm, and I was skeptical the park would even open, which would have been a major bummer after driving all the way out to Hot Springs. But the park did open, and it didn't close early, even when the thunderstorm shut all the outdoor attractions down for 2 hours in the middle of the day. Later that day, a heavy downpour returned, but from what I could tell, Magic Springs kept everything open and didn't close early. I love when parks honor their hours, even in murky conditions, because it shows a commitment to customer service and guest satisfaction. Now let's move on to the ride lineup. Magic Springs has a modest coaster lineup consisting of 5 coasters. None of the coasters are true standouts, but the lineup is quite diverse. The most notable coaster is probably X-Coaster, the only Mauer Skyloop in the US. The signature inverted chain lift is a really disorienting element. I love the hang time this coaster offers, but I am not a fan of the stomach-crushing restraints and abrupt stop at the end. If you see this coaster running, I would prioritize it because it seems very prone to downtime. The other headlining coaster is Arkansas Twister, the aforementioned wood coaster the park relocated. But unfortunately, it's not all that good. Despite the impressive height and length, Arkansas Twister has barely any airtime, which is a major issue for an out-and-back coaster consisting of one hill after another. That being said, the coaster isn't brutally rough. Just think of it more like a family coaster. My favorite coaster at the park was actually Big Bad John, the mine train that was relocated twice from Six Flags St. Louis and later Dollywood. For one, I love the name. I can't help but chuckle whenever I say Big Bad John. But it's also a really nice mine train. The layout is tucked in the woods, it's not too jerky, and the final drop gives some insane standing ejector airtime. I was not prepared for how strong that airtime would be, but you're really yanked over that final drop. But the park's most popular coaster is arguably Gauntlet, the Parks Vekoma SLC. Want evidence? It had the longest line the day I visited, and when the coaster opened in 2004, Magic Springs saw a 33% increase in attendance. And as far as SLCs go, this one isn't too bad. It still has the bulky over-the-shoulder restraints, but it was the first SLC to offer a redesigned wheel assembly, so it doesn't kill you. Last but not least, you have a solid kiddie coaster in Diamond Mine Run. Enthusiasts are allowed to ride this one, and this Mylar kiddie coaster is a really well-landscaped ride. Arguably the biggest deficiency at Magic Springs is the lack of flat rides for adults. Magic Springs has a total of 5 adult flat rides. That is a really small amount for a park as big as Magic Springs. The most notable flat ride is Brain Drain, the arm drop tower added in 2018. I think the arm drop towers have the most intense drop of any drop tower, and Brain Drain was no different. Plus, it was the best ride in the park to take in the natural beauty around Magic Springs. And that leads me to my next point. I really wish Magic Springs had a giant observation ride such as a Ferris wheel or observation tower. If you want to get photos of the surrounding mountains, your best bet is the Hot Springs Mountain Tower, roughly 15 minutes from the park. So if Magic Springs is looking to expand on the dry side, a large flat ride package would really do this park wonders. As for water rides, the Log Flume was unfortunately closed for 2020. It looked like it had a really nice layout through the woods, so I was sad to see it down. The only operating water ride on the dry side was Plummet Summit, a soaking shoot-the-chutes ride that seemed to be a hit among kids. But as I mentioned earlier, Crystal Falls seemed to be the park's main draw. It's a sizable water park with a giant wave pool, a lazy river, and 3 main slide towers. You have an older slide tower tucked among the trees, plus 2 newer towers, 1 mat racing slide, and another massive tower with 7 different water slides ranging from speed slides to bowl slides. Unfortunately, I did not try the water park or any food at the park, but I did browse the park's souvenir shops. I really liked the park's magnets, but the apparel was very generic. So, would I return to Magic Springs? It's a beautiful park, but for me, it would take a sizable coaster addition to get me back there. Since the next closest park is Silver Dollar City, which is 4 hours away, I have to ask myself if it's worth an 8-hour round-trip drive when I can instead visit one of the best parks in the world. It's a difficult ask for me to make. However, if you've never been, it's worth appending onto a Silver Dollar City trip if you've hit the other major parks in the area. Magic Springs does have a really unique collection of rides, even if the offerings on the dry side are limited in quantity. But for locals in Arkansas, Magic Springs is a solid local park. It has a sizable water park that complements the dry side. So those are my thoughts on Magic Springs, the only amusement park in all of Arkansas. Have you visited this park? I would love to hear your thoughts about Magic Springs down below. If you enjoyed this review, I'd appreciate if you gave this video a like and considered subscribing, because there'll be a lot more roller coaster and amusement park videos here at Canopy Coaster. Thanks for listening.